Hello everyone, and welcome to another commentary from Chaotic Fringe. Do this every once in a while when there's any sort of event or thing that gets to me. And the nice thing is that we have a new set here that just got put up yesterday, and it helps for exactly things that just happened now. This literally happened, 10 minutes ago, and just as I was setting this up, there was kind of a response to it, if you can call it that. So it kind of makes this really live. Here's what happened. Like I said, about 10 minutes ago, there was a local reporter, Amber Sullins. She is a meteorologist on ABC 15 in Phoenix. And they have this show called Now at 9, which is basically a bunch of reporters sitting around commenting on events of the day, plus they have viewer comments by Facebook, Twitter, that sort of thing. Well, they were talking about the brawls that were happening in San Francisco, with the San Francisco fight at the stadium. And they're showing the footage, and they're talking around, and I kind of had this in the background, so I was kind of doing my own stuff, wasn't paying too much attention, had the TV on. And Amber Sullins said, "Wow, that's so ghetto," talking about the fighting that was going on. So they're talking for a bit, and then she says, "Wow, that's so ghetto."
That is ridiculously ghetto.
I had to stop a bit and look up because she's and this kind of has to do with it, but I would have been a little concerned if anyone had said it. She was a white reporter that said this. And there was a black reporter, Susan Casper, that was there. Didn't say anything about it, kind of let it go. And I sat there for a good long moment thinking about, gosh, she just said that these people were acting ghetto. Would she be, doing the whole thing that she kind of goes through in a situation like this? Does she mean in another term? Yeah, the worst, she could have said there were worse, so maybe that's not too bad. Kind of, mulling this around in my head, because we've actually, we meaning some people at work, we had a conversation about certain things you can say and certain things you can't say, and certain people can say some things and certain people can say other things. And you've even seen it with, let's say, an extreme measure from a while ago, Laura Schlesinger. Let's not even go into that little craziness. But, when is it that you can say a word that may be, some may say racially charged? And this one isn't what I would call a really huge racially charged word. It is, but it isn't. And so from what she said, I didn't really have any sort of opinion or any sort of thinking as to, okay, is this good, is this bad? I don't know yet. I hadn't really wrapped my brain around it. My kind of quick thinking was, if I'm a reporter, I probably wouldn't have said a word like that, but, especially in that context. However, this is a show where the reporters are sitting there, they're talking off the cuff, and is that really that bad of a thing? So they had already gone to commercial break. I was getting set up for this. This is where it gets now interesting. So I was setting up for this, and I'm sitting down and I'm going through test runs and stuff, and then I have the TV kind of in the background going, and they actually are now talking. Now they have the part where they're having the audience is giving comments and stuff like that. Audience meaning viewers. They're giving comments and stuff like that, and one person, may have been more, but they only showed one person, sent a message that said, "Hey, I kind of find the word ghetto in this context offensive, and I don't think it should have been used." Now, I'm using words to that effect. So it wasn't exactly those words, but it was definitely the word offensive and ghetto, and the person saying, "I find the use of the word ghetto as offensive," those words were there. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is a time when, the reporter might address the issue, might say, "Hey, I didn't mean it in those terms," something like that. What happened? The black reporter that was there, Susan Casper, said, "Oh," and now I just realized there's a part that I did miss on there. Before they read that statement, there was a statement by a former Raiders player who lives in the Phoenix area, and that former Raiders player was basically said, "Oh, you know, the Raiders, everyone gives them a bad reputation. Raiders are good. Raiders are wonderful, wonderful fans. Should have better security, blah, 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 blah." So you had that comment, and then you had the comment about ghetto. And Susan Casper concentrates on the Raiders player talking about security and how Raiders fans are just normal fans. And then Amber Mullins kind of sits there, smiles, and says, "Okay, cool." And then they go to the clip of the day. So they completely ignore the possible offensiveness of the term ghetto. That kind of tipped it for me. You can't say something like that and then kind of realize at some point that it's going to be offensive. And then you're going to have someone that you actually put on your show that is going to say, "Hey, I kind of find this offensive." And then for the reporter at that point not to address it, and actually to address something that is, "Oh, the Raiders fans thought the violence was bad, so now let's go to another clip of something else entirely," and not address the fact that you said this word that someone found maybe in its context not good, that I find shame with. And so I kind of, now I'm thinking, and you know, they may change it, that she may apologize later. I hope at least the station addresses it. And like I said, this is not the most offensive thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world. However, I can see, and that's just me saying that, I'm saying I'm not offended by it, but obviously the fact that someone sent in and that they put on the air that someone was offensive seems it would be offensive. And I know if this were in another city where there was maybe a higher minority population, and I mean minority population, be black, be it Hispanic, be it Asian, if it were a larger population, they may have addressed that more. But I think because of the way that the structure of Phoenix is, I don't think that she thought that there was anything wrong. And the fact that they don't address it at all, I think is it. I think that's what it is. So, a little disappointed. And it's like I'm mulling this through my head. As you can tell, it's like, well, I see it's offensive, but maybe it's not offensive. It's offensive. It is. And they should have addressed it. And I'm ashamed that they didn't address it, that they kind of let it go. And you know, we'll just see what happens. I don't think it's going to blow up into a big scandal, but I'm just shocked that she said it, and I'm shocked that it went the way that it did. So that's it. That's my 2 cents on it, and that's why we have this quick setup where something can respond to quickly. And I will say thank you for listening, and hope you have a good day.